Hey you guys, it's MJ and welcome back to Pet Adventures again. Today I wanted to touch up on rat diet. I believe this is a pretty highly requested video. A lot of people wanted to know what I feed my rats and what's okay to feed rats. Now there is a lot of things that you can feed rats, so it's kind of hard to narrow down everything, but I am going to touch base a little bit more on some of the things that you can acquire if you're on a budget. I realize that there's not really a thing when people try to talk about rat diet, they don't really tell you what you can do when you're on a budget. They just kind of tell you all the fancy schmancy things that you can get for rats and things like that. This is going to be for saving money and also for still feeding your ratties in a healthy way. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. So for an essential rat diet, I do want to state that it is quite important that whatever you want to feed your rats, it's okay. Like, there's a lot of things that you can feed them, but I do want to state that a healthy mix for a daily basis is rat blocks. Now, there are different types of rat blocks that you can use. Well, actually, there's only two companies that I recommend, and that is the Oxbow brand. Oxbow provides rat blocks. They also have something that is called the Regal Rat Mix, and they come in like little nacho-shaped triangles, but you don't really have to get that. That is for some adult rats if you want to get that. But a rat block diet is pretty good for a stable diet. So I would say that you can do the Oxbow, or if you want to go a little bit cheaper, I think it's like $3 cheaper or something like that, you can get Missouri. So right now, because I am budgeting, I'm using Missouri, and you can also use Oxbow. When it comes to basically any animal that you have, I really do recommend the Missouri and Oxbow brands. Missouri and Oxbow make all types of different foods for small animals. So there's like, I think there's probably like guinea pig and chinchilla and ferret. Well, actually, scratch that. I'm not sure if there's ferret, but I know that they do make other stuff for small animals. I have seen that in the pet store, which I live at most of the time. But this is Missouri, so I'm using that. So I like to switch from Missouri to Oxbow back and forth. And you can also feed this kind of stuff to your mice if you have mice. And hamsters also have Oxbow brands and Missouri brands available. So you can go check that out if you want to. I have links down below to my Amazon store. Go straight down to my Amazon store. I have the link down below. I have all types of products that I recommend on Amazon, and you can order that and have that delivered to you. I love Amazon. I practically live on Amazon and eBay, always getting stuff shipped to my home, especially for my animals. So that's definitely what you can do when you want to feed them something every day. Now, as for fruits, we're gonna go into fruits now. I recommend feeding fruits no matter what kind of fruits you're feeding them. I recommend doing it about 3 times a week on average. And the reason why is because they need fruits in their diet, but at the same time, you don't want to feed them, you don't really want to feed them fruits every day because it's a lot of sugar. It's natural sugar, which is obviously better, but sugar no less is still a lot, and it is very sweet. So I don't recommend giving them any kind of sugar every day. So the first things I'm going to point out, and by the way, I have a ton of food stacked up beside me right now. You guys would not believe. There's so much food stacked up beside me, and I'll show you that. But it's just absolutely ridiculous. These are the dried fruits that I recently got. This is sweet dried fruits, which are to die for. I eat them too sometimes, okay? It's okay, you can share with your babies. Us rat moms, even since our ratty babies can eat so much, we have to eat whatever we feed them too. It's just a thing that ratty moms do. But because you know, rats, they eat so much of everything. But this is the fruit salad mix. So there's like dried star fruit in here, and I think some like mango or something. I mean, I'm not entirely sure because it doesn't really say. Let me see if I can find out. Oh, there was like, yeah, dried star fruit, dried pineapple, dried mango, dried strawberries, cane sugar, which is the good sugar, papaya, and there was kiwi in here, but they finished up the kiwi, but there was kiwi in here. So those are all really good for them. So this is dried. I think I said I was gonna go on to frozen, my bad, but this is dried. Now on to frozen. So as for saving money, I would really recommend doing frozen fruit. Now this is some frozen strawberry and pineapple, and you can also get the mixed stuff that has like frozen strawberries and frozen, you know, mango, and like I said, this is pineapple. So all those really basic fruits and stuff, you'll have them in here for frozen, and you know, strawberries too. So this is also what I like to feed my rats. It's very simple. You just fill up in a measuring cup, you just fill up some water, and then you put the fruit in there. And I usually like to do about 1 minute in the microwave, or you can do 1 minute or you can do 30, depends on your microwave sort of, 30 seconds or 1 minute. But either way, you can just heat this up in the microwave and let it cool off a little bit, put some cold water in it. And something that I also like to do is, and this goes with my vegetables and my frozen vegetables and my frozen fruit, sometimes I'm trying to get my rats to do the apple bobbing, which is really, really cute. If you haven't seen ratties do it, it is awesome. But apple bobbing or vegetable bobbing or fruit bobbing, whatever you want to call it, they usually like to kind of like get their little paws in there, or even their nose, and kind of get their fruits and veggies out of the water. So if you haven't tried this with your rats, I highly advise it. It's super cute to watch. Me and my boyfriend love to watch it sometimes. This also can, when you're doing your frozen vegetables and frozen fruit and you want to let it cool down faster, obviously you want to put it in some cold water and take it out of the hot water. So you kind of just take it out of its hot water by draining it in a drainer for noodles, and then you put it in a bowl with cold water, and that lets it simmer down. So these are frozen fruits. Again, you can basically have anything of your choice. There are very few things that rats can't eat. You know, it's like the menu is very high with what they can eat. So don't worry, just go to the store and get like frozen mango, frozen strawberries, frozen whatever. The only thing that they can't have is citrus. So citrus, no citrus whatsoever. No oranges, no lemons, no limes, none of that. Anything that, I think that, what is it? Grapefruit is also citrus of some sort. So, but then there's like avocado that they can eat, and there's just a ton of things. So when you are curious about what you can feed your rats, or if you have something that you want to feed your rats, please remember to Google it. When I want to feed my rats something and I'm not 100% sure if they can eat it, I just Google it. So yeah, please do that, guys, because I have so many of you guys messaging me on what certain things rats can eat, like, oh, can they eat this, can they eat this? When you're curious, just try to Google it. Of course, I'm always here to help, but this is just a general rule here. There's a huge menu for what rats can eat. So I would advise just going through that on the Google searching. That's a word, right? Next, on to canned fruits. Yes, don't forget about canned fruits. Now, canned fruits are also great for saving money because obviously when it comes to frozen and canned fruits and dried fruits, you don't have to worry about your fresh fruits going bad. So that's kind of what makes things expensive. A lot of fresh fruits are really expensive, and of course they are the healthiest because they are fresh. But you know, when it comes to things like that, it's hard to save money because fresh fruits go out fast. Whereas if you get something that's frozen or dried or canned, which is what we have here, it's a lot harder, and it's not exactly a waste of your money, but your ratties aren't going to eat all that fruit in just a week. So, but you get my point. So the next thing I have is this Essentials cocktail fruit cocktail. So I think it's just like a bunch of canned cherries and mango, the same old, same old. And again, if you guys do want to know what kind of fruits that you're getting when you are getting your frozen or dried or canned, it's very, very simple. Just look on the back. So I'm gonna read this out to you guys. I read this before I bought it, obviously, but it has diced peaches, pears, some water in it, you know, obviously, grapes, a little bit of corn syrup, pineapple, cherries, and just a little bit of sugar. So it's, you know, I obviously always read the ingredients before I actually go to the, you know, cashier and buy. So that is something you want to do. You do want to make sure that if you're getting like canned or dried or frozen, you do want to make sure that there's no kind of citrus in there, very important. And usually it's fine, but you still want to make sure. So yeah, that's also something you can do. Some canned stuff is really, really great. And the best part about all this is obviously you can take a little nibble too. You know, that's just something that's kind of required these days. You know, you just want to take a little bit before you feed it to your ratties. And it'll help that latest diet. If you're dieting, this is gonna be okay. So another thing that I have is just some packaged cranberries. So if you ever see packaged stuff like this, sometimes they'll be next to like the nut aisle if you're looking around in the latest like little nuts and stuff like that. See, this says nuts about Florida. So I got this at my local store that's like just literally like across the street from me. So these are just a bunch of cranberries. These won't go bad very fast either. So if you ever see stuff like this, it's just in a little package or anything like that, you can obviously add it to your mix of like canned fruits that you're giving or frozen fruits. You can just add that in the mix while you're feeding. So just something that if like you run by it, you can definitely get it. All right, so next I'm going to move on to frozen vegetables. I do recommend doing frozen vegetables about 5 times a week. So you can do this a lot more. And again, it helps you save money because there's so much in these packages. And obviously, you know, it's not gonna be going bad anytime soon, like fresh fruits and veg and stuff like that. So I just have some mixed vegetables here. You can kind of pick whatever vegetables you want. Most vegetables are fine for rats, but of course you do want to look things up in case you're wondering about any kind of vegetables that are bad for them. Obviously Google it, but I have some green beans and some mixed vegetables here. And a lot of people will tell you that corn is like really bad. A lot of the rat and pet police will go crazy if you feed corn to your rats, but I have tried it and they say that at the most they just can't really digest it that well. But to be honest, us humans can't really digest corn very well either. So corn is not something that is going to just kill your rats. Rats love it. Usually I kind of pick the corn out a little bit, but I still let them have some corn. Believe it or not, the carrots and the corn is their favorite part of the mixed vegetables. They completely skip all the greens in here, but even if your rats are skipping the greens, don't let them. If you're giving them their vegetable mix before you give them their regular mix here, I don't know if you guys mix it in or anything like that, but I like to do vegetables first or fruit if it's fruit day, and then I feed the stable diet. But when they're not eating their greens, basically what I do is I don't give them their stable diet until they've eaten all the rest of their vegetables. So that's kind of like, you know, it's like, eat your greens, boy, eat your greens. But yeah, you can do that. This is a great way, again, of saving money because there is like so much in the bag, and then you don't have to worry about that fresh veg or fresh fruit, you know, not, you know, about it like just wasting away and stuff like that. So the last things that I'm going to get into on this video is I want to talk about dried mixes, and I recommend dried mixes about twice a week if you want. I mean, you can kind of expand it. It really depends on what you're putting in your dry mix. So most dried mixes are mixed of things like oats and some, like, I think pumpkin seeds. I'm not sure about that actually, but I'm not too sure about like what kind of seeds rats can eat because I usually don't do like seed mixes. But basically most dried mixes consist of a few seeds and dried oats and some pasta. So rats absolutely love pasta. So what I have here is I have some the cut oats here, and then I also have some of this Quaker oats. So if you wanted to, and this is cranberry too, so they love that stuff. So if you want to, you can kind of do 2 of these or even 1 of these, depends on what you want. Oats in general are fine. You can do dried oats, or you can kind of just give them the mushy oats. But I heard it can kind of make their bellies expand a little too much. So you can just do like the dried. I think that would do it a lot less. So plus you don't have to go through cooking it or anything like that. So you could do some of the dried oats. And then, where is it? I had it. Oh, there it is. And then you want to have a little bit of pasta in with it. You can also do cooked pasta or dried pasta, depends on what time you got. If you got to go to work or school or something, you can just put the dried pasta in. The dried pasta is great for gnawing down their teeth anyway. They go like, so you can have a mix of this and then some of your favorite seeds for them. Just please do the Google search on what kind of seeds they are supposed to have. I know that sunflower seeds are way too fatty, so I wouldn't do much of those. But yeah, just do your search on that because I don't really do seeds. And of course, fresh foods and fruits are great for them. There are dozens of other things that rats can eat, but I can't list them all in one video because that would be way too much and I don't got time for that, girlfriend. One other thing that I like to feed my rats on occasion here and there is egg. Some boiled egg is great for protein. You can do boiled or scrambled, it's kind of whatever you want. I'm better at doing scrambled eggs because I make that like every morning for myself and for my boyfriend. So yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, there's a lot of other things, but this is just kind of my take on it. And you know, the fresh stuff is great. If you have the money for fresh stuff, that's perfectly fine. But when you're kind of on a budget, the stuff that can stay in the fridge a little bit longer or on the shelf a little bit longer helps you when it comes to budgeting. So that's kind of why I touched more on that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope that it helps your little ratties. I also want to talk about like what it means to be a rat mom sometimes. For the most part, I enjoy the rat community. I have a lot of friends on Instagram that are part of the rat community, so if you guys want to be friends with me on Instagram, I am Pet Adventures, so you guys can go follow me. The links are down below to all my social medias. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and give this video a big thumbs up, especially if you love pets, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!